G'day everyone, it has been way too long since our last video update, so let's get into it. So back in February, when we had our last video update, we shared with you guys our little journey going into town and submitting our visa application. So a few days later, after we had submitted our visa application, we were contacted by them and they notified us that they were not processing new visa applications at that time because of the state of emergency in Japan, and that they weren't going to be processing any new visas until the state of emergency was lifted. So we thought, well, we've got a bit of time on our hands now. They were due to be lifted in March, and so we had a few weeks, and just recently we'd just received a new supporting church in Melbourne, and we thought maybe this is a great opportunity to go to Melbourne, visit this supporting church, and we can visit the OMS family in Melbourne as well, and we can also apply directly with the Japanese embassy in Melbourne. So we thought, let's do it, let's go to Melbourne. And so the following Sunday, the guys down at Wollonga, down there at Coast and Vines, they sent us off, and that Sunday afternoon we drove to Melbourne. We arrived in Melbourne, we're there for a total of 6 weeks, and during that time the state of emergency in Japan was lifted, which was great news, but not so great news that Japan basically said, we're lifting our state of emergency, but there's not going to be any foreigners let into the country. We're not going to be processing any visas until further notice. So we're a little bit disappointed that there was now no time frame, there's no date that we actually know of when we will be able to apply for our visas. So it's a little bit of a waiting game at the moment. So when they announced that they were lifting the state of emergency, but there was absolutely no time frame as to when they were going to be opening the borders up to foreigners and also processing new visa applications, we really had to talk about it with one another, and we had to pray about where God actually wanted us to be while we wait, while we prepare to make the move to Japan. And so he really placed it on both of our heart to come back to Queensland. And that's exactly where we've come. We've come back to Queensland, we've reconnected in with the Gold Coast Japanese church, and it's just great to be back with our Japanese family in Australia, and they have just welcomed us back, and they've been so hospitable and such a blessing to us. So we're so thankful to be back here and to continue to prepare for Japan while we're here in Australia. So it's so good to be back in Queensland, connected with many brothers and sisters, both Japanese and Australian, and to be really encouraged and equipped and prepared before we go to Japan. And even though we have no idea when we will be able to submit our visa applications to get to Japan, we just completely trust God. We know He's got this, we know that He's made a way for us to get to Japan, and we know that in His perfect timing we will get there. So we just thank and praise Him for that. And it's just so good to serve Him here in Queensland. So wherever God has got you, that's where He wants to use you, and He wants you to be available for Him to work through. So yes, even though we've had a few moments of disappointments over the last couple of months, we are so excited to be here and so full of joy that God can use us wherever we are. Even though we thought we were already going to be in Japan by now, it's just such a blessing to be used by God wherever we are. And so that is our encouragement to you also. So I want to thank you guys for sticking behind us. Even though we're not quite in Japan yet, we look forward to giving you more updates on when we are actually able to submit our visa applications, receive our visas, and then go to Japan. Thank you for getting behind us in prayer and in resources. I know it sounds really cheesy, but we actually can't do this without you guys. We cannot do it without your prayer support. We cannot do it without the resources that God has given you to invest into the kingdom work. So we're just so thankful. We are so humbled that you guys are behind us and that you are faithfully praying for us. And please let us know if there's any way that we can support you guys as well. So till next time, bless you guys, and check out these few little clips that we whacked together from our journey from Melbourne to Brisbane.